Hi everyone. We continue in our time together through Psalm 23, where we transition from where we were the last time we were together in the grasslands, and now we're making our way down through the valley of the shadow of death. Shepherds would every year make this trek from the grasslands through the valley to spend the summer months in the tablelands in the higher plains. And so now we're in the valley of the shadow of death. And so here's what's going on in the valley. This is when the sheep come closest to their predators that live in the hillside. Wolves and lions are the main ones. And not only do they come closest to these predators that want to kill them, but they also come closest to the raging waters, closest to the cliffs. In other words, there's death all around them. If they do not stay close to the shepherd, their lives are in peril. Ironically, in the valley, the sheep out of necessity are the closest to the shepherd as they walk along a narrow path. The shepherd is right there with them, protecting them every step of the way. They have to stay close to the shepherd. It's why I love what's going on in this particular part of the psalm. And I don't know if you caught it. David changes from talking about God to talking to God. Let's read Psalm 23 verse 4, and that's where we're going to spend our time together today. Psalm 23 verse 4 says, "Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil. For you, God, you are with me." He's talking to God. "Your rod and your staff, they comfort me." A shepherd uses certain tools. One is a rod. A rod is basically like a baton. It's used for one thing, and that is killing anything that would attack that sheep, to beat off any attacking animals. God guards you from evil. Last week in Psalm 46, we talked about how the fish go deep, deep, deep into the ocean when there's a storm. They go to a place where the storm is not bothering them. We spoke about how we go deep, deep, deep into our relationship with God whenever there's a storm in our life, and likewise here. You go and you lean into the shepherd. You're going close to the shepherd. The best place to be is close to the shepherd, because it is he who will protect you from evil. Philip Keller talks about how he knows of mountain lions that have killed 200 sheep in one night, 200 sheep dead. But he's never seen a mountain lion. He said they will not come into the presence of the shepherd. Remember, he himself was a shepherd as well as a pastor. They will never attack in the presence of the shepherd. Sheep are the single most vulnerable animals ever to live. They're the only animal without a defense mechanism. Do you know what sheep do when they're attacked? Not that I've seen this, but I'm reliably informed that they freeze. That's what they do. That's their defense mechanism. They stand still. The predators, particularly lions, will play with sheep like a toy before they eat them. Sheep must have a shepherd for life, and they must trust that shepherd. The promises of the Lord's presence assure us of his protection in times of danger when we fear. Jesus promised us that he will be with us always. In Matthew 28 verse 20, he says, "And lo, I'm with you always, even to the ends of the age." And in Hebrews 13 verse 5, he reminds us, "Never will I leave you, never will I forsake you." God comes to the defense of his people when our spiritual enemies attack us. The other tool is a staff. The staff is a walking stick, a shepherd crook with a curve on it. It was used for correcting. It kept the sheep away from physical dangers such as precipices. The shepherd will guide the sheep with it by tenderly placing the staff on the sheep's shoulder to guide it in the direction it needed to go. If a sheep falls into a ravine, the shepherd uses the hook to lift them out. So one is used for protecting and the other is used for correcting. A shepherd will not allow any of his sheep to get lost and then just leave them out there. And it's the same with our good shepherd. Our good shepherd cares for us so much. Listen to Jesus' words in Luke 15, verse 4. Suppose one of you has 100 sheep and loses one of them. Doesn't he leave the 99 in the open country and go after the lost sheep until he finds it? And when he finds it, he joyfully puts it on his shoulders and goes home. Then he calls his friends and neighbors together and says, "Rejoice with me, I have found my lost sheep." Know this, you're that one. You're the one that Jesus will leave the 99 for and go after. He loves you so much that he would leave the flock and will find you in that pit that you fell in. Have there been those occasions in your life, or maybe even now, where the cares and distractions of life have found you a million miles away from the Lord? Then God, in his amazing grace, draws us back to himself. But sometimes when we come back, we don't come back all the way. We go through the motions. We might be praying. We might be spending time doing a quiet time more than we did. But our hearts are still wandering out there somewhere, longing for and going after things that takes the place of God in our lives. The incredible thing is, our good shepherd, Jesus, goes after the one lost sheep because he knows that sheep can't find their way back home. And in the same way, Jesus goes after the wandering heart, and he's the only one who can bring it home. When you can't get home, Jesus can get you home. Whether you're praying for yourself or for a loved one, call on the Good Shepherd who laid down his life so that you might have life in all of its abundance. He will bring you all the way home. There's nothing that this life can throw at us that's going to bring us down. God is with us. God, the one who cares for us, the one who spoke this creation into existence, he cares for us. And even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for he is with me. His rod and his staff comfort me.